Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you listen to this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Interaction Inside the Circle, definitely come check us out. We'd definitely love to have you. And that community was put together specifically for coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting up to that 6 and that 7-figure level. So I think over the past couple of days, we recently hit 7,000 members. So if you're not a member yet, definitely come check us out because we'd love to have you. So my name is Exus Justin, as you know, and today I want to introduce you to one of the members of our community, Anna Cantwell. Welcome, Anna.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome, you're welcome. So Anna, tell myself and the rest of the community members, what do you do?
Absolutely. I am a soul coach. And I love being a soul coach because for a long time, I focused on the body. I was a yoga teacher and I was like, that's the way. And then for a while, I totally honed in on the mind. I teach meditation. And then finally, I realized that it has to be all three. So what I do is I help spirit-centered people feel their absolute best in their bodies, free their minds from the limiting beliefs that have held them back, and really just to feed their souls.
Awesome. So soul coach, huh? That's
Yes.
some deep stuff. That's some deep stuff right there. So tell us, what's your backstory before you got into this? What did you do? I know you said you did the yoga, all these different things. So tell us more about the backstory.
Totally. I have really, ever since I was a little girl, I have been a teacher. I was laughing at myself the other day in one of my mindfulness programs because I realized when I was really young, I was leading study groups. I was leading groups going through, at that time it was the Bible, self-inquiry, personal development. How do we become better people? How do we connect spiritually? Really from as young as I can remember. And that naturally led me into education. I learned a ton about positive psychology, about really the inequities in the education system, and I became a high school English teacher. Now, I quickly realized that that was not for me. I loved working with the kids. It was so rewarding. Getting to teach was such a beautiful process. And I had zero freedom and a ton of stress. I found that I just couldn't bring my best self to that work. I really couldn't. And I asked myself the question, which is one that I encourage a lot of my clients to: is this really my highest contribution? Is this the highest gift that I have to bring to the world? And I knew that it wasn't. So that led me down the beautiful path of yoga and meditation. And all that time I was getting coached and saw the massive benefit of it. It makes so much sense, right? You want to grow, you get a coach, right? You find someone who has walked the path before you to walk with you. And that's really what led me here. The part of it that I'm kind of glossing over is the really, really tough part, which was my struggles with chronic pain, my struggles with anxiety, and all of those things, those challenges that led me to want to seek something better for my health and my well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Was really knowing that, like, pretty dark space really intimately, that forced me to find a better way to do things, a
Mm-hmm.
healthier way to grow.
Yeah. Now, what about with helping individuals now? Because now you're at the point where not only did you help yourself, but now you've transitioned to helping others. How did that transition happen?
Oh my gosh, it is the greatest gift. So I think for all coaches, consultants, you really have to see, okay, I can walk myself through this. And then what parts of my journey are really applicable to others? You see, especially now, God, so many people grappling with anxiety, grappling with depression. And even if maybe they're really successful on the outside, feeling empty, feeling unfulfilled, not having their true purpose and gifts satisfied. So that's really how I started to make the transition. I remember my very first client was a really good friend of mine, and working with her really taught me that you are ready to do this. Working with my coaches, getting coached and receiving all this training, that was so huge. And then to see the palpable results and impact in her life, I was like, this is the best feeling in the world, to see that growth and that change. And when you work with one individual, you know this, that it just spreads, it ripples to everyone in their life. So soon, you're working, you're healing families and relationships, right? Whole companies. It's really such a beautiful thing to see the impact spread when you start to work really deeply with one person.
Yeah, that's some powerful stuff as well too, because I know coaching, there's all these different niches as far as ways we've helped ourselves, and now we want to go back to the community and just offer those types of services and help others. And it's such a freeing feeling. Just like I know my own situation was, I became like a marketing type of coach, and one of the reasons I kind of went down that journey is because when I first started my business, it was one of the most painful things I ever experienced, which is figuring out how do I turn my passion into an income? How do I actually do this? And I went through like the first 2 years so much struggle. And when I finally figured it out, and felt like almost like there was a horse sitting on my shoulders while I was struggling. When I figured out, I was like, oh, whoa, this feels so, I feel so free. And then seeing others, people still struggling out there and being able to say, let me help you, let me show you exactly what to do. So we'll come, it's just such a freeing feeling, right?
Oh my gosh, it's the best. And to see, I've seen so many of the people that I work with who are grappling with maybe their mindset around their money, right? And not feeling worthy enough of receiving it, or just not understanding really what the energy of money is, and how really to create that for yourself, that it is a gift to yourself and to those around you. And that sure as hell you can't be helping a bunch of people if you're over here worrying about paying your bills,
Right.
right? If you're stuck in that, like, hamster wheel, for lack of a better term.
Awesome, love it. So tell me, what's if you had to sum up everything you've kind of learned, your experiences, everything up until this point today, how would you sum it all up? What's one sentence? Can you sum that all up in one sentence?
No pressure. That's a great question. I think part of it is, know nothing, right? Know nothing. Never be certain. Because the second that you are certain of something, that erodes possibility for you,
Mhm.
right? And who we are is infinite. So we want to keep ourselves open to the infinite possibilities. We want to be open to the idea that we may not know what the best thing is for us, and that something greater, a greater force might have, a better plan, something else in mind. I
Mhm.
think that's one piece of it. And also, just with that, remembering to keep the beginner's mind. Can you start fresh in everything that you do? So much of what keeps us trapped is bringing the past into our present. And then when we do that, it comes into our future too. Can you begin fresh and new every single time? Right? It doesn't mean you've lost all your experience and your wisdom. Of course not. It just means that you're willing to give it the fresh perspective that it deserves and go beyond even your wildest imaginations.
Yeah, awesome, love it. I love what you said as far as know nothing, and that's a concept I've really been like thinking about as well too. Because I'm not sure if you've studied any type of quantum physics, quantum mechanics, where it's like every possibility is now, like every single possibility exists today. Doesn't matter what your one is. There's also billions of other possibilities. And the minute you focus on one, let's say if it's lack or your life isn't working, nothing isn't aren't working, then you kind of lock yourself into that possibility, and you can't really see anything else because you're focused on the one. So I love the
Mm.
concept of knowing nothing, which is a pretty difficult thing to do, but if you're conscious of that thought, I think you could definitely achieve some pretty amazing stuff in terms of whether it's changed your life, your business, or whatever, right?
Absolutely. It's just coming back to that, and recognizing, I'm like, if we're going to get into quantum physics, we're going to get into quantum physics. It really is knowing that we are so much more than what we see, than what we think that we understand, than what feels material, than what feels real to us in the moment. And when you open up to that world, anything becomes possible. And you see how much we limit ourselves. We do it so much in every realm.
Right, right. So tell us, one thing I'd like to ask a question, which is, can you share one story from your life that kind of got you on this specific path that you are today, that's gotten you to where you are today?
Oh my gosh, stories, so many. One of my favorite stories, because it introduced me to really a much more kind of spiritual take to all of this, to all of the work of personal growth and inquiry and development, is a little trip that I took to Colorado. It started off with a bunch of people telling me that I needed to go to Colorado. I thought, how funny is that? I'll go. I booked a ticket on a whim, and I believe that those are the kinds of things. Uh, if you're thinking about booking a ticket right now, I guess not, maybe not right now, but for the future, just do it. If you get that little nudge, I listened to the nudge. A friend of mine, a couple weeks before, says her brother has this gorgeous place in Colorado for us to stay for free. This beautiful cabin up at 10,000 feet. Now, at the time, I was a teacher and I was not exactly on the wealth train quite yet. I was still pretty broke. I was a grad student and I didn't have the money to go skiing. So I stayed in the cabin with her brother's, my friend's brother's girlfriend, who had gotten pretty beat up from snowboarding. And I said, I'm about to move to LA. I need to learn how to get an apartment there, a great apartment. I don't have it yet. It's really stressing me out. And she said, well, why don't you just manifest it? I said, what? What is that? I don't even know what that means. And she was like, I have something to tell you. She introduced me to the law of attraction. She introduced me to a beautiful field of work called the teachings of Abraham. And she sat with me as I journaled out everything that I needed in this apartment. I sat on this porch looking at this snow-covered mountain with these gorgeous pine trees, feeling the feeling of what it would be like to be in the very apartment that I am in right now. Drenched in sun, everything I needed, perfect location, pool, hot tub, this, that, even more than I had imagined. And the way that it came to me was so beautiful and inexplicable. My cousin's ex-boyfriend's cousin said, come over to the pool. I stepped into this apartment and I said, this is it. This is mine. And within just a couple of weeks, it was so.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's just very interesting how this, when you first hear about the manifestation, you're like, what is that? Like, huh? Like, what do you mean? Like, that's not how, like, you got to go work hard and do all these different things. But once you come from the frame of allowing, right, whether it's having a vision, whether it's called a feeling, whatever it is, but once you could come from a frame of that thing is already existing, it's like on its way. It just
Yeah.
has to show up, and I'm not gonna care about how it shows up. I just know, I just believe so firmly that it's going to show up. I believe that's where it's almost like this little secret trick, because once you do it one time at first, because I remember when I first got into this whole type of world as well. So when I did a few times, like, was this like, what's happening? And the minute you start doubting it, then it doesn't really work anymore. But you got to come from a frame of the only way it works is you really got to just almost like commit fully and just expect it, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was moving to LA whether or not there was an apartment ready for me. That was happening. And and really when I moved out, I couldn't even move in right away, right? There was a little bit of lag time. And it's so funny because I really did for a while there. I remember coming out to look at apartments and just roadblock after roadblock. This like you go to an apartment, there's like 20 other people at the showing, right? You need all these extra forms or all this information. And I remember I called her during this time and said, I thought you said this was going to be easy. I thought you said I just had to manifest it and it would just come, right? And of course, very early in my understandings of universal laws, right? And how that works. And that's probably been one of the biggest beliefs that I've reprogrammed for myself and helped so many of my clients reprogram, is that it doesn't have to be this grind, this hustle, this, all those words that we use, they're so painful and awful, like your nose to the grindstone. That sounds horrible, right? So understanding that it gets to be easy, it gets to be, flowy, we get to receive, and really that the universe is delighted to co-create with us. It just wants us to do it intentionally. And a
Mhm.
lot of times we're doing it unconsciously or unintentionally.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so true as well. It's because and language is so powerful as well. Because one thing I learned early on is that like we only do things for two reasons, right? To either gain pleasure or to avoid pain. And I'm not sure what the statistics is, but I know that a lot of people, even I know for myself, I was really motivated by pain. Like for me, whenever I need to get motivated, the pain was what really drove me. But I
Mm,
realized pain only goes so far. It only takes you so far until the pain isn't there. And then you end up like thinking that the what you're after is to really avoid pain versus say, no, you're here to like create something, build something, do something amazing.
mm.
So I think it's so powerful to come from that frame as far as realizing that it's much better to have that vision and just keep it on front of you, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I was the queen of causing and creating pain for myself for a long time. I really felt I had chronic pain that literally had chronic pain that doctors said would never go away, right? Healed completely, no more pain, no trace of it ever existing. And now those are the kind of results that I get to see in my clients, right? These things that people said, doctors said this was incurable or this is never going away, you're going to have to be on this medication for the rest of your life. And, sure enough, several months later, they're all good, pain free, medication free. It's incredible to see what we are capable of when we align that vision, like you said, our thoughts, our feelings, and really our spirit.
Hmm. So perfect. What about so what challenges, what issues do your typical clients have that you help them overcome?
Absolutely. So a lot of clients come to me with anxiety, and even if it's not like generalized anxiety or chronic anxiety, it's oftentimes manifesting maybe in their body, right? So body's just not feeling as good as they want it to. Maybe they're having fatigue, maybe they have some kind of chronic pain. I've definitely worked with folks who were like me that had like stomach ulcers and like that level.
Hmm.
And then now I'm also moving into some beautiful clients who really they've gotten way past that, right? They're past kind of the pain point, and now they're just struggling with those typical fear and self-doubt blocks. They understand the general, how the world works, the laws of the universe, but they want to know how to really magnify that. They want to see themselves confident moving through the world with their purpose and actually living their purpose. So it's so wonderful to see people really just grow so much spiritually,
Hmm.
internally, getting rid of limiting beliefs, shedding doubts, shedding fears that have held them back for years. Healing that past trauma, especially, is such a huge one. Moving through and moving forward from the stuff that we play on replay in our minds, and then really reprogramming beliefs, seeing what happens and the results that can come when you decide, I'm going to change my mind, I'm going to be the master of my subconscious and really the creator of my own reality.
Hmm.
Designing your life is my favorite thing to do with clients. It's like, okay, what do you want to design? How is the life that you can see living where your soul feels totally fulfilled, right? Because I think some people, they focus so much on one kind of goal. Maybe they have a really strong money goal, but then they kind of forget that they're like human and have to like eat and sleep and all of that stuff and take care of their mental well-being. So we merge that all together so people can really reach their high, beautiful goals that are of massive service to the world in a mindful and soul-centered way.
Yeah. What do you mean like life isn't just about making money, like you have to eat and sleep? Is that what? No way. I've never heard that before.
So funny.
Yes, yes, it's one of those places. And I know for me that I'm definitely guilty of that when I first started off as well too. You know, the whole wheel of life exercise. Like if someone had me like take that test back then, it was like it would be like this thing would not roll at all.
Oh, 100%. And it's so funny because once again, we think we know like the thing that we want without really choosing to embody the feeling that we're desiring
Right.
right now.
Exactly, exactly. So what's that vision that you're currently building towards? I know you said you're gonna leave the States and go to some better place or something. What are you working? What do you got on the horizon?
Oh my gosh, so many things on the horizon. One thing I am very, very excited about that is in the works right now is I'm recording an album of mantra music. So this music is really designed like pop music gets stuck in your head so easily, but with positive messages to help you reprogram your subconscious. I am so excited because music is a huge passion of mine, and that's something that has opened up so much as I've done more work that's creative and purposeful and soulful that I realized my soul loves music. And this is
Are
such a
you
beautiful merging of what I do.
are you a singer as well too?
I do sing, yes.
Nice.
Yes, yeah. So that's what I'm working on right now. I have a couple of other projects. I have a mastermind that is launching right now called Soulshine. And really, in the future, what I see is a massive community of light leaders, light workers whose main goal is to raise the consciousness of the planet, that we are communing together, that we are, going on retreats, that we're preserving nature and really living into our soul's purpose.
Hmm. Okay, so tell us more about the audio that you're working on there because it sounds fascinating. You said it's like pop music.
So really, I was inspired by pop music. You know how pop music just gets stuck in your head, right?
Hmm.
And I won't blanket here, but I can't imagine that there's too many pop artists who are out there thinking, wow, I really want to plant this belief, this powerful positive affirmation in these people's minds. And repetition, and especially music, is really such a powerful healing tool. It's a beautiful example that everything is vibration. So what I do is I channel mantras. Um, One of my favorites that I'm probably most excited for is everything is working out for me. So I sing these tracks, I record these tracks, and then I tune them to vibrations of the chakras so that they really land right where they're supposed to land, a lot of times in the heart. And they help you. They get stuck in your head so easy. I'm like, just wait. I have a little clip right now on my socials, and a client of mine said that in the 12-second clip, she was like, it was stuck in my head for days,
Hmm.
which is the goal, right? And that allows us to reprogram our subconscious mind. If you think about all of the different TV programs, music, ads, like jingles. Have you ever just like you randomly sing a jingle from like 12 years ago? That's the power of repetition and of music.
Hmm.
This is like that, but for positive affirmations so
Hmm.
that you can know yourself, believe in yourself, and really uplift the world.
Well, you got to tag me on that post. Whatever you said, you're like, because it's the same thing as well too. You know, you just like wake up one day just singing some random song. You're like, oh, why am I even singing this? Like, I haven't heard this in like years. Like, what am I doing? And
Totally.
it's like stuck in there, and it sounds like you're kind of doing something similar, but with some good stuff, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine it was just like the most beautiful, like, just delightful, sweet, beautiful song that also is giving your subconscious that little boost. And that's showing up, right? You just find yourself singing it to yourself. When you kind of sing it, someone else kind of picks up on it too. That is really the goal. And that's part of, moving out to Joshua Tree, moving out to the desert. I'm
Hmm.
lucky enough that my partner records music and is a musician too, so that we get to collaborate on that. And I'm just can't wait to share it with the world.
Yeah, sounds fascinating. Love it, love it. So, what's the best way if someone wanted to reach out and learn more about what you up to, what you got going on? What's the best way for them to be able to do so?
Absolutely. So all of my stuff, it's super simple. It's my name, Anna Cantwell. My Instagram is where I'm definitely most active. So if you want to read or if you want to watch some of my video meditations, that's a great place to go. My handle is I am Anna Cantwell. You can also head to my website. There's some freebies and some goodies there for you. It's annacantwell.com. Facebook, same thing, Anna Cantwell. And I also have a Facebook group if you're looking for more of that community, that tribe called Aligned and Soulful Living.
Awesome, perfect, Anna. Well, hey, thank you so much for sharing. And guys, if you're watching this interview on the live or the replay, be sure to leave us a comment, let us know that you're here. The links Anna just mentioned to get connected with her, they will be either right above or below this video, so you can click get connected right to her and see some of the awesome stuff that she's got going on. So Anna, again, thank you so much for making the time to be here today. Really appreciate it. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
Oh my gosh, just thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you if you're listening to this, because if you're listening to this, there's probably a lot more going well in your life than there is going not the way that you'd want it to. If you're on the journey, if you're on the path, keep going, keep diving in, keep listening to these uplifting talks, podcasts, music. Really saturate yourself with that, and I promise there is so much more goodness coming your way.
Awesome, love it, love it. Thank you so much again for sharing, and we'll talk soon, okay?